A new class action lawsuit is accusing our state of failing to stop billions of dollars in sober living fraud. The latest numbers from the state of Arizona showing the state paid $2.8 billion in fraudulent sober living expenses, one of the biggest scams ever on our state. Native Americans were targeted, not treated, and sometimes even dumped on the street. 12 News journalist William Pitts talked to the lawyers involved who say the state was warned about this years ago.
Randy Hunyumtawa in a sober living home, given a pill that turned out to be fentanyl. After a heart attack and a traumatic brain injury, this is her life. Because according to the lawsuit, the person who gave her fentanyl was a sober living staff member. Photos on photos, plaintiffs on plaintiffs.
This is a much bigger picture than individuals.
They're the first in what may turn out to be hundreds, maybe thousands of plaintiffs in a class action lawsuit against the state of Arizona, claiming that the state didn't act quickly enough to shut down fraudulent sober living homes and clinics.
None of these services were actually delivered. These were not legitimate facilities, and the state knew this.
Here's how the scheme worked. Someone sets up a business to bill access for rehab for Native Americans. Then they use recruiters to find Native Americans and transport them to the homes. Then they bill the state for services they never provide.
Nothing has changed. They're still recruiting. Even as of the other day, we have recruiters still out there.
Reva Stewart is a longtime advocate for those who died and are still missing from Arizona's fraudulent sober living homes.
That today still affects me the most is the deaths that should have never happened.
And the lawsuit drops a bomb, claiming there was a whistleblower that the state ignored.
It was spelled out to the state
In detail.
in great detail, who the players were, why they were doing it, how they were carrying it out. This is all the way back in 2019.
The lawsuit alleges the whistleblower knew of an organized group of people running the fraud called The Reservation that came in from Nevada. The lawsuit claims the whistleblower's file was closed without further investigation. In 2023, the state started shutting down hundreds of businesses, prosecuting some for fraud and overbilling. But the lawyers say the fraud didn't go away, it moved.
Now they've shut them down, and now these fraudsters are infecting neighboring states.
The lawsuit asks for money for each of the plaintiffs, but no specific amount. But Reva Stewart doesn't just want the victims to be paid. She wants an admission that this wasn't right.
Acknowledge every single person that's been affected by this. Don't apologize to me. Apologize to everybody that was affected by this. Regardless of who they are, if they have an addiction, they still belong to someone. They're someone's family member.
The spokesman for the state attorney general's office said they had no comment. William Pitts, 12 News.
Lots of layers to dig through.
And troubling that nobody was watching that money. We're talking billions of dollars there.